Okay, okay. Linda's nodding to me. I'd like to call this meeting of the Oxford Town Council, May 17th, 2021 to order. We've all got the agenda in front of us. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Moved by Councillor Jones. Second by Councillor Black. All those in favor, raise your hand, please. You can get a good look at it. Motion carried. The minutes, Town Council minutes from April 19th, 2021. You've all had a chance to read through them. Any errors or omissions? And the special Town Council meetings from March 22nd. Any errors or omissions? Kind of a motion to approve. Moved by Councillor Jones, second by Councillor Colburn. All those in favor, raise a hand. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. New business. Item 4.1. This is, where's my notes? Finance report, and I think we'll turn the floor over to Ruth Ann. She'll fill us in there. Evening, Ken. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, you're welcome.
Hi, Ken.
How you doing?
Hi, Ken. Okay, so the finance report is shows you the approved budget for 2021 and what is going to be projected for our year in March 31st, 2021. So this is the best estimate I could give. I've done as many year-end entries as possible to come up with the figure at the bottom to show a close to $30,000 deficit. So does anybody have any questions on the projected year end for March 31st, 2021?
No questions or comments? Okay. Do we need a motion on that, Linda, for approval?
No, at the report end, when we do the reports under 5, you can make a motion altogether on all the reports.
What question?
So you're talking last year's coming up to here.
Correct. March
Yes,
31st of 2021. This is where we sit at year end. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay then. Then we'll move on to the general operating and capital budgets. Before we do that, someone asked me to address something, and that is the reserves. This is for probably the viewing public. Anytime we do a major project, we go to the province or the feds for money. And usually when there's a cost sharing project in the works, they want proof that we have money to pay our share of what this project's going to cost, be it 50% or 60%. They need proof. The way we prove that to the province, to the feds, is our reserves. Our reserves are quite low at this time. And the budget we're going to be presenting for the year 21-22 is designed to put some money back into our reserves. So when we have a major project, they'll look at it and say, we're able to pay our share, we can get funding. If we look like we can't pay our share, we won't get any funding. So it's imperative that we rebuild those reserves. It's sort of have to prove to them we don't need the money before they give us the money. So basically that's what this whole budget has been about for the year 21-22. That's all I have to say. General operating budget. I think I'm going to turn the floor over to Councillor Jones.
So as far as the 21-22 operating budget, Ruth Ann, we have to cover that that money that was a deficit from last year. Is that correct?
This is correct, Paul. And we are talking about the budget now. So
Yes.
That was the first thing that was on my item to mention was the one you saw previously had not had that $30,000 figure put back in. So now I have put it in the budget that went out on Friday.
Yeah.
And so we took it from
Our
the
contingency goes down to about 28,000 then, does it?
Exactly. That's exactly
Yeah.
where we took it from.
Yeah.
So if anybody, I didn't figure anybody would have problems with it coming out of there, but basically everything else has remained the same as when we spoke last Monday.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve that based on paying the deficit from last year, taking it out of the contingency. And we still have a balanced budget and some in the contingency. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that, please.
Do I have a seconder? Seconder by Councilor McNutt. All those in favor, please raise their hand, signifying aye. Motion carried. Thank you, everybody.
Yahoo!
Okay, next up, we've got the capital budget. This is not written in stone, but it will be our working budget for capital projects for the next 21-22 again. Can I have someone make a motion to the Councillor McDonald, moving that can you say it so we can hear you, please? Oh, you're still muted.
I move that we accept the capital budget. As
I'll
is.
second it.
All those in favor, please raise their hand, signifying aye. Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. Boy, we're cooking now. Everybody wants to get out for a walk, apparently. Next on the item is the Water Utility Committee. The town doesn't have one as of yet. I would like to see us set up a water utility committee that would include the sewage as well. I don't know what was the name we came up with it for today, Linda? Town services?
Town services.
Yes, town service, water and sewage. We're due for a water review this fall. We should have a committee put together and to look at that specifically. Any questions or comments? Okay. Now, do we need a motion to set up a new committee, Linda? Or can we just go ahead and do it?
Yes, we need a motion, and be nice to see who would like to sit on that committee as well.
Okay, Councilor McDonald, your hand's up first.
I'll move that we accept and form a new water and sewer committee. And the name of it was
Town services.
Town Services.
Okay,
And I would go on that committee too.
okay, Councilor Colburn, you had your hand up. Is that a second? Okay,
Yes,
okay. Anybody else like to sit on that committee along with Councilor McDonald, Councilor Colburn? Two councilors be enough, do you think, Linda, or should we have a third? We'll go with two for now, and if we need more, we'll get one. Thank you, gentlemen. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Okay, that's count 6 hands. Thank you very much. Motion carried. Okay, I've got a couple of things to read here. And the
Your worship.
Oh,
I'm sorry, could I interrupt just for a second?
sure.
If we have a volunteer, I think it would be excellent to have a third person, just because if there's a meeting scheduled and somebody can't make it for some reason or anything happens, you've always got a backup.
Okay,
If we have a volunteer.
I'll volunteer. I'll be the third person. Okay. Did you want to volunteer too, Councilor Jones? I saw your hand come up.
That's fine. I don't mind sitting on the committee.
Okay, so we've got a committee of 2 or 3 and a spare. So we'll be good. Okay, we've got a couple of proclamations. Bear with me while I go through these. Linda tells me I have to read the whole thing in its entirety. One's rather short, one isn't. Proclamation Lyme Disease Awareness Month, May 2021. Whereas Lyme disease is a serious illness caused by the bite of a black-legged tick infected with the bacterium Borrelia burgdorferi, I think. And whereas black-legged ticks carry a variety of diseases or illnesses can now be found in all parts of Nova Scotia. And whereas awareness, education, and practicing preventive measures such as daily tick checks and proper tick removal can help reduce your chances of contracting tick-borne diseases. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Gregory Henley, on behalf of the town of Oxford, do hereby proclaim May 2021 as Lyme Disease Awareness Month, dated at Oxford, Nova Scotia, the 17th day of May 2021. Now, I have a second proclamation. This is Access Awareness Week, May 30th to June 5th. Whereas the week of May 30th to June 5th, 2021 is recognized as Access Awareness Week, and Access Awareness Week aims to celebrate achievements made both by and for persons with disabilities in the areas of accessibility, transportation, housing, employment, recreation, education, and communication, and that this is a 34th year that public awareness initiative has taken place in Nova Scotia. And Access Awareness Week promotes the inclusion of all Nova Scotians with disabilities as full citizens within our communities. And through public awareness, community partnerships, and education, this campaign aims to foster an environment of equal participation for persons with disabilities within the town of Oxford. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Gregory Henley, on behalf of the town of Oxford, do hereby proclaim May 30th to June 5th, 2021 as Access Awareness Week in the town of Oxford, Nova Scotia. Dated in the town of Oxford, Nova Scotia, the 17th day of May, 2021. This one's really long, so bear with me, folks. This is a municipal proclamation for World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, June 15th, 2021. Whereas town of Oxford seniors are valued, contributing members of society, imparting a wealth of experience and wisdom in our communities. They deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that they live safely and fully engaged within the community that cares about them. Whereas the International Network for the Prevention of Elder Abuse, in support of the United Nations International Plan of Action, proclaimed this day to recognize the significance of elder abuse as both a public health and a human rights issue. Whereas 2021 marks the 16th anniversary of World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, its recognition will foster a better understanding of abuse and neglect of older adults. And whereas elder abuse is not limited to race, gender, culture, or circumstances, and regardless of the abuse is physical, emotional, or financial, it has a significant impact on the lives of individuals and families. And whereas seniors are at being risk of being abused in social isolation and ageism are contributing risk factors in Nova Scotia, whereas town of Oxford recognizes the importance of taking action to create social change that prevents elder abuse and raises awareness through education of neighbors, family, and friends about the rights of older adults, and whereas preventing abuse of older adults will help improve their quality of life and allow them to live independently and contribute to the vibrancy of Oxford for as long as possible. And whereas there is respect, there can be no abuse. Therefore, residents of Oxford are urged to stop abuse and restore respect. Whereas there is respect, there can be no abuse. Therefore, the residents of town of Oxford are urged to join this global movement to stop abuse and restore respect. Therefore, I, Gregory Henley, Mayor of Town of Oxford, Nova Scotia, do hereby proclaim June 15th, 2021 as World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and encourage all of our residents to recognize and celebrate seniors and their ongoing contributions to the success and vitality of our province, Nova Scotia. Thank you.
Thank you. There's one that we missed there, 4.4.
Oh, did I?
That's okay. Yeah, there's quite a list there.
Okay, yes. Okay, I'm going to call on Councillor McDonald, the birthday boy, regarding the Cumberland Regional Economic Development strategy.
Well, we did have a meeting on it. We were looking for more members. Linda was sending out some letters to some members that were interested in it.
Oh, Council McDonald? No, this is about the economic development strategy program that was presented. at the last.
Oh, I moved that we accept it.
Okay, we need a motion to that.
I moved.
Okay. We have a seconder.
Community, sorry.
Seconded by Councillor Black. It's moved by Councillor McDonald, seconded by Councillor Black, that we accept the Cumberland Region Community Economic Development Strategy. All those in favor, raise your hand. Any contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to reports. Public Works. Number 1. You want to read that, Linda?
Yes, I can do that. So the April report for Public Works, the water meters were read. They replaced pressure released pipe at well number 4. They cleaned the bushes in the ditches on the well road and behind the chlorine building. They flush hydrants. They have a Reed promo is filling in as the transfer station attendant until Willie is able to return back to work. They cleaned up around the transfer station, and the current attendant is going to continue picking garbage and whipping snipping when he's there at the transfer site. They repaired ditch and driveway at 697 Lower Main. They installed dugouts, the shed, and toilets at the ball field. The community garden beds were repaired and replenished with soil, and they installed signs for the walking trail at the school. There's also more signs to be installed around town as soon as the posts arrive. Those posts have been ordered, and that was sent in by our town supervisor, Wes Edgell.
Okay. Next, finance.
Just
You have a question, Councillor
excuse
Jones?
me.
Yep.
Just a comment, the transfer station is cleaned up a fair amount, but I was down on Wednesday and every bin was completely full. And I think that's part of the problem. What's happening is they're overfilling and then the wind is blowing stuff away. So is there a limit to how many bins we get, or what is the procedure there as far as when they're full? Are they to call or what?
Can staff look into that and get an answer for us? Oh, you could.
So what we do is Wes will get in touch with Faro and call and get more bins. And so hopefully they're in there with the new ones for Thursday. So with the new dump day.
Saturday
they're blowing
was a
around
very
now.
busy day. I know.
Okay.
It's completely full. Anyway,
Yep.
thank you.
Okay, any other questions regarding Public Works? We'll move on then to finance report under new business.
And so that was mentioned under new business earlier. So I just want to put it down there for formality when we approve the reports.
Okay, and we had a fire report as well. Would you like to give that as well, Linda, just for the people at home?
Certainly. So this is the fire report for April. They had 7 calls in the month of April. There is 1 commercial fire alarm, 4 mutual aid calls, 2 were in Spring Hill and 2 were in Pugwash, 1 propane leak, and 1 investigation call. 3 of those calls were town and 4 in the county. The call volume has been down due to not responding to medical calls, as the MFRs have not been fitted for the proper PPE through EHS that is supposed to happen within the next few weeks. As per previous discussion, he is in Truman, our fire chief, is waiting for the paperwork to come out for the provincial funding to apply to try to receive 3 breathing apparatuses. He feels that this should be in by next month. Due to the recent lockdown, they've had to cancel all their meetings and training until further notice. This also shut down their weekly 50-50 draw. They are now still involved with the Nova Scotia 50/50, as that is all done online. They had a work day planned for the training ground located on the south side, but that had to be canceled until restrictions were lifted. After listening in on a few of the council meetings, if any of the members would like a tour of the fire hall to see what some of the items discussed are, we have no problem showing you so you can better understand. So that's an invite for council. Within the next few weeks, the Fleet Ready will be in to start the regular servicing and safety inspections, as well as the yearly pump testing in their, on their fleet. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact the fire chief.
Okay, those are all our reports. Can I have a motion to accept these reports as presented? Moved by Councillor Jones, second by Councillor Black. All those in favor signify by raising a hand. Motion carried. Committee updates. Okay, accessibility. Chairman Councillor McDonald.
The accessibility committee, we're still waiting to meet. We do have some members, but due to the COVID, we haven't met yet. No report.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Arena Committee, Councillor Colburn. Your name's first on the list, sir.
Nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Audit Committee, Councillor Black.
We haven't had a meeting since our last council, and we have one this week, I think the 20th, so nothing extra.
Okay.
May I jump in there?
Oh, yes.
So that meeting that we're having on Thursday, it's going to be talking about the water operating budget.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Community Economic Development, back to Councillor McDonald.
That's the one I started out to say,
Yes.
we had our first meeting. Linda is sending out some letters for some other members for it. Other than that, we don't have anything to report, other than we did have our first meeting.
Okay. Fire Department Committee, it shows Councillor McDonald and Colburn. Anything to report there, gentlemen?
I don't, unless Arnold has something.
I was talking with a couple of the firemen, because I was just trying to get a little more information on the lifespan of their breathing equipment. I know that it's been there a while.
Okay.
So we're talking over 15, 16 years. Nothing else to report.
Okay. Procurement Committee, Councillor Jones.
We did have one meeting and we're working on the insurance that's been sent out, has it, Linda? So, and we've sent out the legal as well, or that's in the works?
And that's in the works, where we sent out the audit as well.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So, no, other than that, that's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works, Councillors Black and Jones. Did we have a meeting? I think Councillor Jones, you're the chairperson of that committee, I think, aren't you?
We are. The only thing we've had is discussing the tractor purchase, and we're waiting on quotes for the same size as what we have. So once we get those, we'll be able to make a decision and bring it to council.
Sounds good. Thank you. Recreation Commission, Councillor McNutt. Fire away.
Well, first thing, I want to huge thank you to all of the Earth Day cleanup people. It was awesome. Tons of people got out there and it was wonderful. Lots of comments, lots of anyway, it was great. Obviously everything is stopped as far as recreation, but all the behind the scenes stuff is still happening. So the dirt has arrived at the baseball field today and the work starts tomorrow. I want to thank everybody for the donations. They've had amazing amount of donations coming in. We are still about $800 short in the work that they want to get done. But they've got some fundraisers maybe in the works, maybe some more donations are coming in. So they're doing amazing work there. The soccer program, we're kind of pretending that all this stuff is actually going to happen. We'll see.
Right.
The soccer program, assuming it happens, we are in desperate needs of new nets and new netting for some of the nets that are in existence. We'll need new nets. Some of the nets are completely broken and laying on the ground in pieces. A grant or I guess we'll say a grant application has been sent out. So fingers crossed that we may get some money there. Summer camp. So our plan is, again, we're going forward, assuming that this is going to be ending. Our plan is to have a summer camp, either one day, possibly 2, maybe 3 days, every single week for the months of July and August. So we're in the process of planning that and submitting grants for that as well. So we can hopefully get some money to run some summer camps. Linda had mentioned about the community gardens in the public works. They are ready to go, and Eleanor Crowley is looking after that. So if you go on our website or our Facebook site, Eleanor's phone number is there. So if you want a community garden plot, you just have to let Eleanor know, and she'll let you know if there's any left and where and all that stuff. And then the only other thing, and Linda again mentioned it a little bit, the signs. I just want to let everyone know, I posted it on Facebook, but the signs are awesome. And we thank Corey Skinner, our old recreation director, for getting those signs for us, and the public works for getting them installed. So there was some installed last week, and then hopefully the other ones will be installed within the next couple of weeks. They're going to be really fun signs. So that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Next on the list is Town Buildings Committee. We haven't met yet. I think there's been more focus on getting the budget done up. We'll probably have a meeting soon and start looking at some of the town buildings because they all need a bit of TLC. Do we need a motion to accept those reports, Linda?
It'll be a good idea too, yes.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Jones, second by Councillor McDonald. All those in favor of accepting, raise their hand. Oh, excellent. Any correspondence? You, sorry, you're muted there.
Sorry, no, there isn't.
Okay, unless somebody has something else to add, we need a motion to adjourn and everybody get out for a walk. I see 2 motions there, both to adjourn. Councillor Jones, McDonald, thank you. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody. It's
Thank you.
been a nice meeting. Quick, we can all go for a walk, hopefully.
We off the air, Linda?
No, we're still on.
No, we're just one second.
Oh, happy